let's imagine that you won't do your due diligence, but you're wise enough to know this may hurt you because of everything I've just shown you there on the board. Okay, now, bottom line is, if you go into a dentist and they don't use a dam, you know you're in the wrong hands. Now, what a dam is, this is a really weird device. I'm just going to turn this, not in the teeth, now, but a dam. It's a big rubber thing that all you'll see out of that is your tooth. So when the dentist is looking down at you and you're in the chair like this rubber band literally covers your entire face. So it captures the mercury. It captures any of the garbage coming out of you. And all they're able to do is drill, because that's popped through the rubber, they'll drill the tooth. If they're not using that, you're not in the right hands. Number 2 sign, you're not in the right hands if they're not putting oxygen on you. Because the vapors, when they're drilling, the mercury vapors go up. You inhale them, it goes directly to what?
Your brain.
And the fatter your brain is, the more it stays up there.
So oxygen over your nose or your face?
Absolutely. Well, it can't be in your face, over your nose. Yeah. So that's number 2. You don't have to be crass with these people. Don't have to be crass. Don't say, do you do this? Just sit back and say, can you tell me what the procedure is like? And if they say, nothing about a dam and nothing about oxygen, say, well, thank you. I can't quite see you now, and go off to the next one. Okay. Now, the third thing they have to have, if they have brains, and this one is not a prerequisite, because they may want to commit suicide themselves, but they better have a filter inside of that room. And the wise ones have a filter and also have the window cracked open in snowstorms in January. So they have air circulating through, etc. Yes? Oh, I'm going to get to all of that. Wait till you see what I mean. Not what I recommended. You're going to eat the box of this. That's number 1 on the thing. So this is number 1. Number two. You all coming along with me? We're not going. Okay. So if you go to a dentist, don't say, okay, this is the Inquisition. What you say to the dentist is, how are you going to, when you take my fillings out, doctor, how are you going to do it? They don't say that at least 2 of these 3 things. You'd like them to say 3. You know you're in the wrong hands. So be polite, as a British can be. Get up and walk out, and that's the end of the show. Go find another person. Next, what else should you do to prepare to take dentistry? Before you go to the dentist, at least 1 day before, I want you to start to do 2 things. Stop eating a lot of solid food. Now, unless you're a diabetic, unless you're already anorexic or bulimic, we're going to preclude all of you. But if you're just a normal, relatively healthy person, we want you to pretty much go on a fast or very close to a fast. We want you to start a day before. So let's imagine on Wednesday you're going to the dentist. On Tuesday you're not going to eat solid food. And if it's hard for you to go on a juice fast, green juices, wheatgrass, high chlorophyll fast, then at least eat only salads that day, with copious or large amounts of water, large amounts of juice, etc. So now we're flushing the body, lots of chlorophyll in. That's when you start to upload a minimum, and we'll use chlorella because it's easy to do, 30, 15 in the AM, 15 in the PM, of these little tiny chlorella tablets. Why? Because when we want to take mercury out of people's body, or uranium out of people's body, or any heavy metal, we use chlorella. When we went to Russia after Chernobyl, we used chlorella to take uranium out of people's body. When I get people who have dental problems or mercury toxic poisoning, we use chlorella to do that. And why? Because algae do that. And chlorella is the least expensive and most effective way to do that. Now, cilantro is helpful, but chlorella is by far. Okay, we'll get to all of those. By far, the best way to do it. Now, number 2, if you can do infrared saunas. You should be doing an infrared sauna as often as you can, period. I do sauna 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Why am I toxic? Yes. Not because of my lifestyle, because I live on the planet you live on. And so every single day, I make sure that I spend a minimum of 20 minutes to 30 minutes in a very hot sauna, as I did today at the hotel we're in, not an infrared there. Okay? And infrared is far better. It takes 2, no, not 2. The latest things we found on that is an infrared takes 86% more toxins out of your cells than a normal sauna. Okay, do you understand what I just said? So when they, for instance, you go into a normal sauna and they take your perspiration and they test heavy metals, chemicals, etc., they get a certain level. When they put you in infrared, the same amount of time when you come out, you have 86% more toxins coming out. Number 3, you take copious amounts of water. Now, on a daily basis, always, no matter what, for every 1 pound of body weight, you must consume, not should, but must consume, a minimum of a ½ an ounce of pure fluid. Do you follow that? So if you weigh 200 pounds, you need how many ounces of water or juice combinations in that day? 100 ounces.
Liters?
Okay. Well, how many ounces are in a liter? Remember, I'm an American. They gave us a metric system. We went completely bonkers for about it. We had to get rid of it. 6 months, we said, oh no, God. Let's go back to the English system. Although we had a revolution with it, we'd rather have that. I don't know. But look up ounces and get up. I'm sure the internet or your cell phone has that. You press a button and it pounds out. And you can sound brilliant if you look at your cell phone enough today. Now, lastly, zeolites are something I use on planes. I never get on a plane without zeolite, but I open up my mouth, put my tongue up here, and spray zeolite underneath the tongue. Zeolite collects all kinds of waste toxins and even, you shouldn't say it, biology out of the body. And so we give it to people who have cancers and bacteria and viruses, etc. And so that's it. Other things that you can do during this process is you take double the amount on the day that you're having the dentistry, so you're up to 30. And for 2 days after, you go back to 15 and 15. Do you follow what I just said? So now you're having dentistry on Wednesday. Tuesday you take 15 in the AM, 15 in the PM. Wednesday you take 30 in the AM, 30 in the PM. Friday, 15 and 15. Saturday, 15 and 15. And then go back to your normal amount. You should be taking, forget chlorella just as a detoxification. I've taken chlorella for 30 years every single day, except fasting. Why? Because chlorella is an unbelievable nutritional supplement. It's one of the few things that we know, blue, green, and green algae, that literally fixes your chromosomes. That means your DNA. It corrects chromosome damage. That means it prolongs your life. That means it reduces potentiality for the 5% of genetics to affect you in any way. Not because we say so. There are shocking high volumes of research on this. And so you can see the research goes back 40 years on this. So you really don't want to age prematurely. Chlorella is a great way not to do that, also to detoxify. Plus, a lot of you live in a place called London. It's not the most pristine place in all of Britain. And you're picking up, like it or not, heavy metal toxins, chemicals every day. And those of you that are a little bizarre and off track are not eating 100% organic food. Some of you are really bizarre and off track. You're still consuming animal flesh, starting with fish, chicken, red meat, and that really helps you collect massive amounts of heavy metal toxins and chemicals. Why? Because where heavy metals and toxins hang out is in what? Fat. The more fat you have in your body, the higher toxic levels you have. This is why, by the way, morbidly obese people, we now have the latest statistics in as of 3 months ago, have 5 times greater incidence of liver cancer and pancreatic cancer.